Welcome to another edition of You Can Get There From Here. I'm your host, Dr. Joe Moore, and I'm the chair of the Department of Communication and Digital Media Production at the University of Central Missouri. And it is my pleasure every week to get to talk to some of our alumni, to ask them what they're up to these days, how their jobs are going, and how the university helped them get there. Today, we have a good buddy of mine, Tristan Barelli. Tristan is a freelance sports videographer. He has worked with the Kansas City Royals, Sporting KC, the KC Mavericks hockey team, and many, many other organizations. And we are delighted to have him on the show this week. Tristan, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Tell you what, right now as we're recording this, the Summer Olympics are going on. Have you been watching? And if so, have you been watching the competition or have you been critiquing the broadcast?
I actually haven't gotten the chance to actually sit down and watch. I've seen a whole bunch of clips on social media, but I've been busy with my own work lately to actually be able to sit down and watch. But I've definitely seen Snoop Dogg out there doing his commentary. I always love that.
Well, as one of your old professors, I'm glad to know that you've been very busy working, so you haven't had a chance to watch as much of it. Coverage, in my opinion, coverage has been great. They're trying some new things. They're really bringing in a lot of pop culture for it.
Yeah,
Bringing in some, bringing in Snoop Dogg, bringing in Kelly Clarkson and Peyton Manning and folks like that. Alex Cook or Alex Cooper, she does a podcast. She's been doing some shows, so we see how our industry has transitioned from the traditional kind of button up sort of thing to bring a little
yeah.
pop, make it a little more fun. So yeah. So you are a freelance sports videographer. Tell us what that means.
Freelance sports videographer. I get to go out. I'm contracted by multiple different companies to go out and shoot game footage for all these different sports teams. So I'm either um, primarily do camera work, primarily videographer, kind of starting to kind of venture into more of a directing side, director TD role with some of the sports teams. But uh, I mean, I get to travel. I get to pretty much get paid to watch the game, but also obviously work the game so everybody else can enjoy and watch the game. Like what I do is what people at home see on TV. So it's up to me to bring everybody else the game. So I mean, it's really a win-win. I get to help everybody else watch the game, but I also get to kind of, watch the games myself, and I get paid doing it. I mean, it's a pretty great journey so far. Yeah, primarily just being freelance. I don't work for any one specific company. So I've been able to network and get my name out there to get the opportunity to work on multiple crews, work with multiple different third-party production houses that supply or that crew for these events. So, I mean, I'm just all over the place shooting sports,
So
dream come true.
so, so you're essentially an independent contractor. You work for
Yes.
yourself. You're your own boss. You pick the projects you're going to work on. And I'm going to ask you a question. I know the answer to this, but I want to hear you say it. As a parent, that might give me a little hesitation that there's not the stability of an 8 to 5, that who your boss is, when your next paycheck's coming in, you're going to get the benefits and everything through your company. You have to take care of all that yourself. And I could see as a parent, and I am a parent, that would make me a little nervous for my kid. You and I both know that there's a way to make this a full-time profession where it can take care of everything. So, talk to us about how does that happen? How do you get the consistent work? How do you find those clients that are going to hire you and keep you working consistently?
Yeah. That's a fear I had going into it. Sometimes I still have, I'm still kind of the new guy. I'm working on still getting my name out there, but I have found a constant, steady amount of work that pays my bills. I'm happy with. There's only room for me to grow at this point, but there was definitely that fear for a long time of like, man, I love doing this, but I don't know if it's sustainable, if I can keep doing it. But it's there will be a point in time when you first start out where you will kind of question yourself a little bit and be like, okay, am I doing things right to continue to keep going this way? But I am here to tell you that it does work as long as you're willing to put yourself out there, willing to learn, willing to network with these people, build those relationships. It is 100% doable. And like a lot of the guys I've worked with have been doing it for years, and they love doing it, and they've been great mentors and teachers. And just as long as you're willing to continue to learn, to listen to what these veterans of the industry have to say, and have a good attitude about it, most of the time you're going to get a call back. And I mean, sometimes it takes a little bit, a bugging a crew or a little bit, not too much. You don't want to be like, oh, it's this guy again, like just doesn't leave me alone. But making a name for yourself, putting yourself out there, definitely trying for variety. Like when I started, I was most certainly a yes man. If anybody asked me to do anything, yes, 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 because that's how you get all the experience that you need. That's how you get experience in different facets of media, with different equipment, because equipment's different on every production truck. Uh, there's always going to be something that's a little bit different. And that's kind of the anxiety, but also kind of the fun part of kind of being freelance is it's always something a little bit new. But yeah, for it is 100% sustainable as long as you're willing to put the work in. I mean, it's like that with everything, really. I mean, as
Right.
long as you're willing to stick with something,
Sure.
you will get there.
So how do you get your name out in the first place? I mean, you talk about the networking, which I'm glad to hear you say that. That's one of those things we talk about over and over and over. But how do you get on that first cruise so you get to know people so you can get out there? What worked for you?
What worked for me was I was able to bring my knowledge from what I learned in college into my internship. My internship was
There you go.
huge for me. Like
Yeah. I was hoping that's where you were
internships where
going with that.
yeah, internship is where you get invaluable experience and is where like your internship is where you start building your name for yourself. If you can get meet people during your internship, show them that you're willing and wanting to learn and want to do good work, they'll remember that. And um, I mean, like I said, I got lucky with my internship because I mean, but for everybody else, I had a little hiccup with my first internship where I was like, I did prep casts first, and I forgot to sign up for it as a class. But
I'd forgotten that.
yeah, so I was like, I don't think I could really get credit for this, but that's the best thing that ever happened to me because I missed out on putting that down as my internship. I got to work into my other internship, which has brought me into where I am now. So, um, the internship that I got after that was Zimmerman Productions. That's where I got to start learning more about like bigger budget broadcasts and started getting my name out there, networking with the people that flow through that company. And even meeting just other videographers has been a real eye opener because, if you go to you're on a show, like everybody's kind of doing their own thing. Like you're still a team, but like it's very like this is my role. I'm staying in my role. This is
Mhm.
your role. You're staying in your role. Like I understand that you're setting up a show on your end. I'm setting up a show on my end. Um, so being able to find somebody that does your exact role and learn from them and really listen to them, that's how I got my name out there. Because when I went to my internship, I just started talking with the other videographers. And I started asking them questions about like, hey, is this sustainable? Hey, how do you do this? How does this work for you? How are you able to continue to do this? How do you are you enjoying doing this? How do
That's
you
great.
get your name out there? And like my first event that I did for Zimmerman Productions, I met a guy who's one of my best friends now, Paul Stokes. He um, was an absolute incredible mentor to me. He would answer all my questions. He had the best attitude about it. And I mean, I owe a lot to him as well as all the professors at UCM. Not
Sure.
trying to give him all
Understood.
the credit,
Understood.
but like he was kind of that mental role in the way that you guys were as well, but in the field.
Right.
Like,
Right.
but like it's networking with him and other UCM alumni, even like Wyatt Graven. Like I work with him all the time, and he's been a great mentor as well. But yeah, really being able to get your foot in the door somewhere with that internship, and just kind of go ahead, be a yes man when you start out. You're good. It's nerve wracking. It gave me a lot of anxiety. Still sometimes gives me anxiety, but I'm just, introverted, kind of anxious person. But um, all those opportunities that I got were, I wouldn't trade that for anything because that has gotten me where I am now. So you got the internship, you got the networking, always ask your questions. Yeah.
Get out there. So you sound like you're really enjoying what you're doing now because, again, you do get to pick and choose. Any desire at all to work for a network or um, work for a university, maybe, and work in their video production or work for a professional team or anything like that? Or are you happy doing the freelance and being able to pick and choose what you want to do?
I think at the moment I'm happy doing what I'm doing right now. Like I said, I'm still the new guy on all these crews. I'm still, kind of like the youngest guy there. Um, but I would have never imagined that I'd be working for all these major league teams within, God, what now? It's already been 3 years since I've graduated, which is already crazy. I'm already old. Um,
Easy, easy.
but I mean, I would have never imagined that I would be working for the Kansas City Royals, Kansas City Sporting, even Kansas City Current. Like they're huge and their games are a lot of fun. They fill that house and high energy. It's a great time. But yeah, I like the direction that I'm going right now. So I want to keep on this path for a little while longer. I might branch out a little bit in the future, but I think right now I've kind of got my foot into the door of um once other people start retiring and leaving, I might be more of a mainstay on those bigger crews. And that's just going to mean even more consistent work, higher paying jobs, all that good stuff. So,
Well, you came into the program and you'd said you had zero experience in broadcasting, which was fine. I mean, we run the gambit. We have students like you said, you'd never picked up a camera, never done any sports broadcasting. You didn't do journalism classes or broadcasting classes in high school. Then we have other ones who have, big fancy production trailers and they have broadcasting tracks within their program. And so we get the whole shebang, lots of experience or zero experience. As someone who came in without the experience, what was it that made you feel comfortable with doing the program with digital media production and made you feel like you could be successful at this?
um, well, I think mostly it was the people that I met. Um, like you said, I came in knowing absolutely nothing. It was foreign field to me. I came in as an open option student. I didn't even know what I wanted to go to college for. I just knew my parents wanted me to go to college. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to college. But I really had no clue. I thought like engineering or something at first. But I wanted to do the open options program here. I honestly kind of followed one of my friends here. But one of my friends ended up going to UCM, and I was like, let's go to UCM. It's close. Um, but I went to the open options program, and they have you choose like a couple of different fields, like to kind of play around in to see what you like. And I was just like, uh, I mean, I was always interested in like kind of the behind the scenes, kind of stuff in movies and stuff like
Hmm.
that. I always I'm very much a fan of how it's made type stuff.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't say I had zero interest. I just never imagined that I would be doing something like that. Like the thought never occurred to me like, oh, hey, I could do that. So um came in with zero knowledge and first couple of semesters, I was like, it's cool, but I don't know if I'm fully grasping it. I don't know if I like am creative enough for this type stuff. There was a point in time where I was like, I think I might switch. But then I started coming out of my shell a little bit more because I had so many classes with so many of the same people. I started to get to actually know people and find out what they were interested in. And then I also got into the sports broadcasting class, and that's where I think that's one of the best classes where you actually do get to work as a one collective team, where you have to trust each other. And if one person slacks, the whole broadcast, it impacts the broadcast. Um, so I think it was a little bit of being able to talk with those people, form some bonds and friendships, but while also being able to be like, hey, these people are counting on me. These people need me to do what I need to do. So that kind of gave me some confidence and um, made me really want to get good at this kind of stuff, like this broadcast, and really learn the broadcast so I can be like, hey, you put me wherever you need me to be on whatever position, I can get it done. I won't let you down. Um, because if I let somebody down, that like I don't stop thinking about that.
Yeah.
I never want to let anybody down. So um, I am so lucky that I guess lucky is not the right word, but I'm proud of myself that I stuck with it long enough to be able to meet these people, actually get to know the professors, and actually find an interest to be like, hey, I think I'm actually kind of good at this. Like, I want to continue and see where this goes. And then from that point on, I started seeing that in the rest of my work at UCM. And I started thinking like, hey, I could actually like I think I should stick with this and like keep going, see where I go. And it was really just about building those relationships, building up the confidence within myself, to be able to like tell myself like you can do this. Like you enjoy doing this. This is fun and you're good at it. So keep riding with it.
Well, I'm going to tell you, as one of your professors, I am so glad you did stick with it. Um, I never had any idea that you felt like you weren't a creative, because you were one of the most creative students we've had.
Thank
Whether
you.
that's in a studio, whether out in the field or whatever, you have that eye. And so I'm glad that you stuck with it and you stayed working at it, overcame some of those early nerves and the anxiety you talked about, that you made those connections, you made those friendships, and were able to tap into something you didn't even know you had. So worked out great for both of us, I think.
Yeah.
Last questions I'm going to ask you, and I ask these of everybody I have on the show. I think it's important for our alumni who are veterans, who've been through the program, who have seen the other side of things, to share some of your wisdom with our students. So, for current students, two questions here. For current students, what advice would you give them? For a student who's thinking about UCM and studying digital media production, studying the communication and digital media production department, what would you tell them why they should choose red? They should be a mule.
Uh, First, for the students that are already attending, stick with it, stick with it, stick with it. Be a yes man, get as much experience, get a broad spectrum of experience of all the different facets. Even if you're a sports emphasis, take audio classes. If you're a live studio emphasis, take some cinema classes. You want to be able to go anywhere in the industry and be able to be say, I can do this. And that's honestly something I still have to work on because, like I said, everybody kind of gets their own job and you kind of stick with it. But there's always opportunities to branch out. So it's always good to um, learn as much as you possibly can from each emphasis. Obviously, you can have your specialty. But yeah, stick with things, make those connections because networking is absolutely a must in this industry. Um, you'd be surprised. I kind of sacrilegious here, but I don't use my resume a lot. A lot of my work for freelance is word of mouth, people recommending me to other crews. So that's why I say the relationships that you build with
Good
people
point.
in school and in your internships. Now, no, hit my desk, my weird setup. Sorry about that, everybody. Um, but yeah, all these relationships, make sure you nurture them, make sure you learn from them, because those are going to be your biggest ally going out into the field. Um, but yeah, learn as much as you can, meet as many people as you can, stick with it. If you're feeling anxious at all, it passes. If you stick with it, you're going to get into the routine of, hey, I know how to do this. And there have been times in out in the field that I had that same anxiety still of like, hey, this is a new position for me. But then I tell myself like, you know this camera, you know this equipment. It might be a little weird, but you're gonna get through the day and you're gonna learn from it and you're gonna be better for it. So
Being your own biggest
just don't,
cheerleader.
yeah, just don't, just yeah, just believe in yourself, get that knowledge and network. For future UCM students, if you're thinking about choosing red, absolutely do it. Um, I mean, I am living my dream, and that's because of everything that I learned, all the people that I met in this program at this school, at this college. It was an experience I'll never forget. Um, I know most people say that about college, but I feel like I had a little bit of a non-traditional college experience, but like I look back at it and I realize this was the best place for me to go. I would not have what I have. I would not be where I am. I would not have friendships that I have without this experience at this special place. So if, and I mean, our program there is phenomenal. Like everything that, like all the uh, opportunities and the equipment and the projects that you guys have all put together down there is top notch. Um, I still don't see that anywhere else. Um, it's just it's undescribable uh fulfillment that I'm trying to describe, but it's you won't regret it.
Well, I love hearing you say that your dreams have come true, that you're getting to do what you wanted to do, that when you came to college, you didn't even know it's what you wanted to do. So, Tristan, I'm so proud of you. You're doing some great stuff. Keep it up. Keep working at it. Keep growing. Keep developing. Be that lifelong learner we always talked about. And next time you're in town, make sure you stop by.
Will do.
All right, folks, that is Tristan Barelli. He is doing some great things, representing the program and having a good time living his dream. Thank you all for being with us today. Remember, you can catch every episode on our YouTube channel for the UCM Media Network. That's youtube.com/UCMMN. You can also check us out every week on Spotify. A reminder, I'm Dr. Joe Moore telling you, you can get there from here. Have a great day.